Hello, everyone. It is me, your host, Rashawn Warren, the host of See I Am Me. And today we're going to have a good guest on, and he's going to provide us some perspective. Today, our guest is going to be Ken Cates with Rehab Warriors. Now, real quick, we're going to show you a quick clip to bring him into the fold. And then immediately after the clip, we're going to go into our conversation.
Meet Ken Cates, U.S. Army veteran and Executive Director and CEO of the Fort Hood Area Habitat for Humanity, a man that grew up with a military father who inspired him to serve.
I always watched his example, and then my older brother, he joined the Army. So the best way I was always taught to give back or to serve was to serve your country first.
Ken spent 27 years serving his country, and that service didn't end when he took the uniform off. Like his father, he sets an example for his children to follow.
I had 7 daughters. All 7 daughters follow. You know, they know that they got to give back, donate their time towards the community as well. So what better way to show them than, after retirement, taking this opportunity to give back to
Ken Cates with Rehab Warriors. I'm going to tell you all a quick story about how we met. So we were both in then Fort Hood, Texas, with the CAF, Air Defense folks. That's what we do. And we deployed to Mosul, Iraq. Yeah, is that correct? As part of the brigade aviation element, right?
Right.
So, and in that time, when you spend a whole year working with people, you start to learn a lot about them. And what he's shown was straight dedication to service, straight dedication to his job, and a remarkable person to the youngsters that are out there that we had to lead. Now, in a year's environment, being in Iraq, things are crazy. But he was so good, they took him from us. And then they put him in the head talk. I was so upset that day, man. They was like, hey, we taking Sergeant Cates. I'm like, what? But, hey, you went to where you were supposed to go. But now you're out in the world, and you're the president of business development and government affairs at Rehab Warriors. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. So transition was great. I met Andy Williams, the founder. He's a former Marine. He and his wife, actually, they had done Flipper Flop Fort Worth back in 2018. I met him in 2021 at a housing summit, 2022. And he told me what he's got going on with Rehab Warriors, how he's growing it, and how he's got things and the impact that he focused on. HGTV came to him and his wife years ago and said, hey, we want to renew you for 3 years. But they prayed it over and thought about it, and they went back to the network and said, no, thanks. We're going to teach veterans to do what we do instead. And that's what kicked off Rehab Warriors, is being able to train and give veterans that next mission. And I couldn't say no. So over time, I transitioned out of Habitat for Humanity and connected with Andy and the team with Rehab Warriors. And that's what we've been doing, is impacting veterans directly. Helping them achieve great things.
Oh, that's awesome. Giving back to the force in many capacity. You did it as a soldier, and you served 27 years, right?
27 total, yeah.
Yeah. That's a long time in that occupation. It takes a special person. But after serving some people, being a selfless servant within the military, you decided like, hey, this is what I want to do, and then I'm going to take it back out and help those outside, but you're still helping those veterans. So, the veteran population, I hear a lot of things in the news about like how some veterans are struggling and they just need an assist. And then you're that, for lack of a better term, point guard, throwing out that assist. How does that feel?
And it feels good. I can't describe it, Rashawn, just seeing the successes of these veterans, but being able to know that I'm able to, I live by a simple code, honor God, love family, service community and country, and being able to continue that and give these veterans that next mission, but uplifting them so they can be that next impact for their community and their families as well. It's amazing. It's a great feeling for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure they appreciate you big time. It takes a lot for for you to go out there and help other people. And I think that's lost sometimes. A lot of people do not understand how much it takes of oneself in order to get up and help and assist someone else, especially with the type of project that you're currently doing and bringing other people into the fold. So how many veterans do you have that work with you?
So our team is very small, Rashawn. Right now, it's myself, Sharice, and Andy is the founder and CEO. So our team is very small. However, Andy's got a couple different things going on at the same time. So we're able to partner with the recent graduates as well to continue them on the entrepreneurial path so that they can actually move on and accelerate their future careers as well.
Okay, yeah, small team, but big heart. And that's kind of what it's all about. And I really, really mean that, because I know that it takes a special person to help people and to really love it. You spoke to you earlier before the show started, and I watched your video. In your video, you talked about how your 7 daughters, they know that they need to give back. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's great. They all give back, whether they at church they're volunteering or they make sure that they're doing everything they can to assist others, to help bring others up. One of our daughters actually works for the Boys and Girls Club now. They're doing something to make sure that not only are they raising their own families, but they're always teaching compassion and they're teaching love of others. So it's great to see, especially one of the things we didn't talk about. One of our daughters actually owns a house across the street, so we see those grandkids all the time. But being able to see them boys grow up and see the families constantly helping one another and helping others outside the fold, it's good to see. It's loving, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. To have 7 kids and they all have a enjoyment of going out and being an impactful person in the world. So you're definitely contributing. Hey, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And once we come back from that break, we're going to start diving deep into what you do and about Rehab Warriors.
Sure.
Focus up. Hey man, zoom in. Welcome. My name is Chris Rubio of the Rubio Method. Soak it in. Wear it as a nice sweatshirt, a nice yellow sweatshirt. See if it fits. And it may be something you say, okay, I'm listening to, but I don't really like it. Not for me. What the hell are you thinking? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have issues because of your bad taste.
So after I retired, 27 years total service, I took over the Habitat for Humanity affiliate in Fort Hood area. And then we broke ground on the first of its kind veteran community, 26 homes for homeless and disabled veterans. So we just showed the community what veterans can accomplish. And when you go back after you serve, you don't want to come back to garbage and blight. You want to come back and impact. You want the next mission. And that's exactly what Rehab Warriors is doing with this program and with the veterans, is we're giving them that next mission.
So Ken, in your occupation, you're helping people, as we discussed earlier. You're out there making a move, leading from the heart. But in your position as president of business development and government affairs at Rehab Warriors, tell me, since you're dealing with veterans, how are you benefiting those men or people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s? I assume as those people transition out of the military, that your organization is catering to people within that age group.
Yeah, Rashawn, you're right. The large group of those that we're helping, that's exactly right, that target the transitioning and the current veterans that are looking for upskilling. Those that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they just want that. Again, they want that next challenge, or they're not bringing in enough for the family, so they need to upskill or find something that they can promote within the organization they're at currently. So I directly benefit everyone by seeking that career transition opportunity, strategic partnerships with SFL TAP, the transition assistance programs on installations, along with veteran service officers across the several counties across the nation, the VSOs, the other organizations, and employers. So we advocate for their position to be able to take the course. And we open up those networks that are designed to assist veterans. But through the advocacy process, we also have advocacy for the policies and initiatives that prioritize veterans in the employment fields. We explain to employers those benefits of bringing in that veteran, how that veteran can actually bring in leadership, experience, trustworthiness, and especially that motivation that veterans have. So again, we give them that next mission as well. So we help the veterans so that they can fulfill a new career path or achieve professional growth within the current employer that they're at.
Do you run into any particular challenges as people are transitioning or upscale, as you say?
On the transition side, the challenges we hear a lot. I wish I knew before I got out. Not that our specific program is for those that are in a what's called Skill Bridge, where you can take the course while you're active duty. But if they knew the steps to go through so that they can be better prepared, that's what we hear a lot is, I wish I knew before I got out. So that's probably the biggest challenge on the veterans transitioning out. But the next biggest challenge is working through the VA, because the VA does pay for them to take this course, and they also get a stipend through the apprenticeship phase. So the challenge there is paperwork, but we have a platform where we assist and support the veteran to make sure that they have that career path set so that they know the processes, the steps, and the extra paperwork that they have to fill out in order to get that approval. And we've run into a lot that they're either over educated, is how the VA says, or they've used up all their benefits on just staying busy instead of targeting their career.
Yeah, you know what? To capture that, I wish I would have known. You know, there's a lot of things that I guess got to go into place as people start to transition into other careers or into other points in life. There's a lot of times that, you know, I've been in places and I showed up and I was kind of unprepared, but I was unprepared because I didn't know what I needed to know. And so that's powerful that we have people out there that are transitioning and are looking for help, but they didn't get the necessary information they needed before they went there. But it's also awesome that you were able to help and assist them as they continue to go forward. So with all of that being said, what about any strategies that are out there, any specific strategies that you implemented at Rehab Warriors that help those people or get them into the accredited workforce?
Yeah, so it's the advocacy piece, but some of the strategies that we've focused on are the advocacy, innovation, and strategic advocacy, and adaptability, of course. On adaptability, everything we do working with veterans, it's a dynamic environment. The veteran support landscape to the policies, programs, it's constantly changing and evolving. So staying ahead of that game, staying informed is one of the biggest challenges that we're able to facilitate, but also having the leaders remaining flexible and open-minded to new ideas and approaches. Long time ago, and I know you've heard me say this when we were in F.1 Merez in Missoula, is get rid of the box. I got rid of the box. I don't like thinking outside the box, because when you're thinking outside the box, you realize you're still chained to the box. So you're limiting yourself. And it reduces the possibilities of being readily adaptable when you chain yourself to a thought or to a status quo, which leads to the innovation piece. You know, we embrace innovation, we embrace tech, we stay ahead of that curve to drive the meaningful change to positively impact these veterans, whether they're transitioning or they've been out a while. They're ready for the next mission. Rashawn, you've been working it while you're still active duty. You work on the next mission. And that's all veterans want. They want the next mission. They don't want to go home to blight and challenges. They want to be able to have the next mission so that they can be successful. And that helps them keep the negative mind processes away, keeps them busy. They know they're being successful. They know they're accomplishing things, and it reduces that negative thought process in their lives. So we're helping the veterans focus on and giving them the skills, and then, of course, achieving success. And then the strategic advocacy is we're just simply breaking status quo. Like I said before, the leaders have to refuse, and it's one of the things I focus on is complacency kills. Complacency kills motivation. It kills success. It kills drive. So we can't be complacent. And when we get rid of the complacency in our lives, we're able to achieve more. And that doesn't mean change everything in your life. It just means constantly look for the next thing, whether it be that educational piece, that certification, that challenge within where you're working. So get rid of the complacency. And again, without the box restricting us, that's how we help advance the mission to organizations like Rehab Warriors and creating that lasting impact for the veterans.
Yeah, I like that. Get rid of the box. The box has its own constraints, right? And once we get outside the box, we're still basically thinking about the box because the box is there.
Yeah.
But you know, you talked about complacency, and complacency can hurt you because sometimes we feel that, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm good with this. I'm kind of solid where I'm at right now. I don't really need to move forward a little bit. It'll all work out. You know, those things kind of navigate around our mind, you know, and all of us have fell victim to it at one time. But to have an organization that says, hey, man, we're going to help you get rid of this complacency. We're going to give you your next mission, and we're going to help you move out down the continuum to success. Because sometimes, I've said this many of times, you have to begin with the end in mind. And it sounds like you've given somebody a continuum to travel down, and you're giving them some assistance. Is that fair?
Yeah, that is fair. Absolutely. Because again, it's given the next pathway, the next career, and we help them set them up with everything they need to be successful. Resume assistance, and of course, setting them up with the business models, financing. They're learning these things. In some cases, they never had to delve into.
So how are people finding out about you all? Is it, or y'all have like a lot of things going on where you go out into the city, or you do different events to create awareness?
So it's a mix. The first year we were kind of slowly expanding, getting the word out through the municipalities, through cities and counties. That helped a little bit, kind of spark the interest within those cities. But here lately, we've been focused on some of the career fairs, and again, talking to workforce commissions. Every state has a different title for the same kind of office. So workforce commission or your jobs center, career centers, talking to them directly. Every one of those have either a veteran resource officer, or each county has a veteran services officer. Again, that key title might change a little bit between the states. But talking to them directly, because they're the boots on the ground, so to speak. They're the ones that are working with the veteran in their community nationwide. And at a community and city level, when they come across us and they see our information and they're talking to their client, being that veteran, they know this is a possibility for them and this is something they can look at and consider. I'll throw an example at you, Warren. We got here in Central Texas, Austin region, we have everybody's gone to IT. Everybody in the Army, everybody in the Marine Corps, you know, they get told, hey, you need to get that C+, that C++, all that stuff for IT, right? 5,000 jobs just laid off recently. 5,000. And the Austin Workforce Commission, Texas Workforce Commission in the Austin region, said up roughly 20% of those are veterans, and they have nothing now to go back to because those IT jobs are gone to AI. Leads us to a whole different subject. But of course, now they're being told, hey, look, you need to look at something that's not going to go away. What's not going to go away? Well, medical, that ain't going to go away. Real estate, not going to go away. Facilities management and maintenance, that's not going away. And neither is construction. So all those things other than medical, we tie into and assist and give them those options.
Oh, man, that's crazy. 5,000 jobs gone due to technological advances.
Right.
Man. And,
in the tech field.
And yeah, that's what I was about to say, in the tech field. And you know what? But I guess the bright part to it is that there's an organization that's available to them to help them continue to move. Oh man, that's something to consider. And Ken, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we're going to come back, and we're going to start discussing the importance of continuous growth with you and your organization.
Sounds good.
Hey, it's AC of AC Sports Live, an interactive sports talk show where your comments are part of the show. Every show we focus on the sports stories of today, with commentary on sports takes, my 2 cents, which is a reaction to my social media feed, Sports Flicks, where we take a look at sports movies and give a quick review. We have a segment called Mental Reps, where we have words of inspiration to help battle the dark side of men's mental health. And then there's the Tender Love Report. Who's being soft or petty in the world of sports? All takes are welcome under one condition. Say it with your chest. I'll see you there.
So we are back with Ken Cates. Hey, Ken, I mean, you shared some great information for veterans up front, and I applaud the efforts of that everything that you're doing right now, you and your team, small team, big heart. But I want to discuss a little bit about the importance of continuous growth and leadership, and how balancing advocacy efforts with new strategies in your life. How's all that working out?
It's going good. Personally, it's transitioning from retirement myself. One of the challenges and struggles was looking for that new job on the way out to take care of the family. I was lucky enough that I had networked and had good folks in my region and in my corner, so I was able to easily, smoothly transition over to Habitat. And again, leadership, the city municipal leadership that I'd met and worked with in the past, they're the ones that actually introduced me at that housing summit to Andy. So my professional development, same thing, is always seeking that new thing, that next challenge, or what else can I do? That's the thing veterans look at, is what's next, what's the next step or the next thing. And in my case, I'm always just watching for that next thing. And recently I just finished up getting certified for veteran health maintenance, health mental status. So it's getting educated and learning more about suicide prevention and how to approach certain mental capacities for, especially focused on veterans. And then continuing that on and doing some minor consulting with other nonprofits and cities. And we'll be kicking off some opportunities as keynote speaking, and kind of taking that mission and that message of complacency kills out to the public soon.
Oh no, that's good. I want to kind of dovetail off of what you just said as far as the requisite training that you've been receiving. You said some of the suicide awareness. Since we're dealing with veterans, I understand like the 22 veterans today commit suicide. Those numbers seem to be so staggering, and you're already doing something that's in alignment with helping veterans. But you got that dynamic coming in too. You got some people who are coming in who may be facing some, I would phrase it as mental, emotional problems that may lead them to say, hey, I don't think I can do it.
Right.
With you receiving that training, how does that help you? And have you experienced some of that?
A little bit. Again, luckily, not a whole lot, but we're able to kind of identify and see before it gets to an extreme, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And being able to identify that. And I on Fridays here locally, we have a small group that I actually go to and attend, and it's a peer network. So we can actually help one another achieve things and see who needs what, whether it be assistance, support, just add them to the prayer list, or see if there's something they're struggling with so we can help guide them along the right path. So it's been able to apply some of those things, and of course, receive some of that same training in the Army, but looking for that on the Texas state level side, getting that from the civilian perspective has definitely helped. And like I said earlier, all these things are constantly changing. So you always got to stay ahead of the game and understand what other challenges are out there to identify that, to be able to support.
Yeah, that's absolutely very important that you recognize that too. And I believe that NGBN TV family at some point in the upcoming weeks are going to be offering a suicide training for people, just to make people aware kind of what's going on. It's something that kind of get lost,
Mhm.
especially for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like maybe sometimes things, the way you thought things were going to work out, don't necessarily work out. And if they don't have access to a program that you're running, then hey, who knows what's going to go on? And your efforts in helping them transition, man, you might just be saving lives out there on a scale that you didn't even realize. And since we were kind of talking about that, let's do you have any success stories that you want to share, like something that's happened in your eyes? You're like, man, this program is money. It's doing the things that we wanted to do. You got any stories that you would share so we can get a better understanding of what's happening out there?
Sure. So we've got the beginners. When they kicked off the program, the city of Arlington actually funded 20 veterans to go through the course, and they've been able to successfully revitalize the what's called a neighborhood revitalization strategic area. So it's a targeted, focused area within the city that they try to make sure that here's our focus, this is what we want to be able to do, and this is what we want to. These are the neighborhoods that we want to improve, get rid of the blight, remove the blight, and everything. So they were able to achieve that. A couple of those folks are Benjamin Groth. Ben, he transformed 5 stunning, beautiful single-family houses in Hurst, Texas. Graduated through the program, and now he's on his focus and personal mission is to continue building homes and creating home ownership for first-time buyers. And he continues doing that in the Hurst, which is a Dallas-Fort Worth region, but Hurst, Texas. He's continuing that lasting impact through renovations, leasing, and refinancing select units so that he can be that trusted landlord in the community that happens to assist and support those tenants instead of coming up with ways to boot somebody out. Jerry Dello, he's actually one of the graduates. He former Marine. He was Forces Recon with the Marine Corps. And then he turned around and went to the course, started real estate, and he's been, I hate saying it this way, he's been knocking it out the park. Marine veteran. Now he's actually with the career school. He's actually one of those that are on the accelerator course where it's a direct mentorship with Andy. So he's been able to find his new purpose, working development, and he's developing land, transforming communities. And now he's an actual real estate advisor and construction manager for his own business, JT Works, up in Dallas-Fort Worth. Charisse, another great person. I mean, as she was transitioning out of Fort Riley, she found out about the program, messaged Andy on LinkedIn and connected, went through the course. And as a program manager, she got out, bought a couple of houses, renovated those in the Fort Riley area. So she has rental income now. But when she relocated to Dallas, Fort Worth area, she actually kind of went to Andy and said, hey, you could probably fix this and change this. And he scooped her up as the senior program manager for Rehab Warriors now. So she's got her own projects, and she's the senior program manager for Rehab Warriors now.
Oh, that's awesome. Shout out to Fort Worth. So, that's where I'm from. Shout out to Hurst. Everybody's working hard. Shout out to Ken Case and Andy out there making lives better. So I just recently talked about the suicide piece, and I just want to share some stuff. I'm gonna read some stuff off so everyone has an understanding of kind of what I was getting after. So the NGBN TV has an ambitious initiative to train 100,000 men in suicide prevention. Equip ourselves to save a life. It's an unprecedented effort to combat the rising rates of suicide among middle-aged men. So NGBN proudly announces its groundbreaking suicide awareness and prevention program, Equip Ourselves to Save a Life. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. So since we already throwing shots out, so hey, man, you guys are doing some big time things out there, man. This this is great to hear. So what got all this? All right, I mean, how has the impact been of a leadership development for veterans? How has the impact in your mind been?
So, well, I mean, that's I'm not going to say a tough question, but leadership fundamentals are crucial. You know that, Rashawn. It's,
I do.
It drives organizational growth. It fosters partnerships. But it's been solid with Andy and the team. And what we train the veterans also is transparent communication, first off, collaborating within the organization, and it frees up meaningful dialogue with all partners, whether it be stakeholders, the city, other students, employers, veteran service organizations. When we articulate that our mission, vision, and goals effectively, and it garners that support, we're able to grow that leadership. But that through that strategic thinking and innovation, these are critical keys to build those alliances. But by empowering the veteran and showing how the veteran has these leadership skills and opportunities, and those skills, the best way to say it is, I mean, when you put a veteran in charge of something, things are going to happen. Things are going to get fixed. Things are going to happen. You may or may not like how they say it, but they're going to achieve success because they're focused. Again, they're focused on success of the mission. And when they have that support and they have the leadership and the mentorship surrounding them, they're going to accomplish great things.
Yeah, it's funny, you spoke earlier about that next mission and how vets get after it. Those leadership fundamentals are ingrained in like who we are as individuals and leaders at whole, because we're always trying to help somebody else. So, does mentorship play a significant role in what you got going on?
Well, it does. Again, that's part of it. We had a young lady, Taylor, come in from East Coast. She flew in, did her last week of site visits and everything. And that 1 week, Andy was able to facilitate some time and sat down with her and was able to give as the founder, be able to give her some guidance directly. And through the mentorship, what we do is we have a platform, Rashawn. It's on the Rehab Warriors. Once a veteran gets into the platform, similar to any social media, but it's enclosed. It's just us. We're there for one another. So it opens up that freedom to be able to talk to one another. We send out daily inspirationals, some targeted information, a little bit of class here and there, whether it has anything to do with the actual course or not. But the best mentorship and the best support mechanism for veterans is other veterans. And that's probably the strongest part of the platform, is one another there for one another. So we're feeding off of, we're supporting, we're celebrating. We're in there to chat, talk, or reach out. We have some videos. We have, again, stories and Q&A sessions where Andy will get on as the founder. He's able to actually talk directly to the students. So that is definitely, mentorship is the strong part of it, but that mentorship comes from one another too.
Yeah, it's that identification with somebody who's within the same realm of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely understand. So I guess real quick, so if you were to say one thing about Rehab Warriors and how it ties into making people better, what would that thought be?
Wow. You said you weren't going to throw any hard questions at me. trying to narrow it down to one thing. Honestly, Rashawn, it really comes back to what we've been talking about. It's the next mission. It's when veterans have this focus and they have that mission, they're able to block out the negativity. They're able to re-engage. They now see that they can achieve and have not only the support and the mentorship and the opportunity, but they see the success. They see the growth. And I hate getting morbid, but I guess the best thing is with that kind of accomplishment, growth, support, and mentorship, they forget about the negativity, the downplay, that they get rid of the thought of putting a gun to their head. You know, they don't have that anymore in their mind, because again, they're part of a esprit de corps. They're part of something again, and they're achieving, and they know they can talk to their old battle buddy, or whether, because we're all battle buddies. We're brothers and sisters in arms, and it doesn't matter whether we served directly or not, like you and I, but there's that camaraderie, and that's the key focus. Is it pulls away the negativity in their minds and their lives.
Yeah, that sense of togetherness, you know, like the acronym for team, like together, everyone achieves more, you know, and once we're able to bring people in and build cohesive teams through mutual trust, we start to develop something that's really powerful. A lot of teams suffer because they're not connected. The bond is not present. The individual that they want to reach out to is probably not the individual that they need. You know, a lot of those things are popping up. So how do you look at the concept of team?
So I was able to, when I transitioned out of the Army, I was able to kind of take what I learned from the military on teamwork. Because again, just like anything, we may be a subject matter expert in certain key areas, but nobody's an expert at everything. And when you take your team and you actually facilitate the team, and you communicate, and you're open to clear, concise, honest discussions, then your team grows. Your team is, I'm a leader, but I'm not the one sitting behind pointing and telling folks what to do. I'll get in there in the trenches with them. I'll get in there in the mud. Just like everything we've ever done together and in the future is, that's what teamwork is. And when we facilitate the team, that's what they grow out of, is they can take that and build their next team. And with Rehab Warriors on the actual education piece, that's what they're taught also, is assembling the team. They're able to target and identify by walking build sites and walking and going through, whether it be the Planning and Zoning Commission, things like that. They actually experience who the pros are, who the experts are, so they can coordinate their own team to be successful as well.
A good rundown. So we're going to go into a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to close this thing out. And
hello, we are the MD and Chef team. I'm nutritional chef Michael, joined by my beautiful wife, Dr. Isabel, medical doctor and suicide survivor.
Yes, I was dropped into the world of mental illness back in 2013, and by the grace of God, I survived suicide. But here's what I learned. We don't have a mental illness issue. That's the downstream event. We're focusing downstream. We should be focusing upstream on our brain health and all the things that we can be doing to support our brain health. Because you see, it's like mopping up the floor when the sink is overflowing instead of turning off the faucet. So come and join us on the MD and Chef Team show.
Come join us.
all right, Ken, we're back, and I'm going to pass it off to you and let you tell us what's important about your program, and then tell the audience out there anything that they need to know about what you're doing.
Oh, sure. Like I said before, it's really getting the word out and helping veterans have that next mission, that next goal. With the VA it's called Veterans Readiness and Employment. VRE, any veteran that is transitioning out of the service. Like we talked earlier about, if they knew, and what they don't get spread is, when you are at that 180-day mark from when you're getting out, a lot of opportunities are open to you. One is called BDD. I always get the acronym wrong, Rashawn, but it's basically benefits, decision, or determination on discharge. So you're given a pretty close percentage for your disability before you get out using BDD, but you have to begin the process in that 180-day to 90-day window. What also opens up is skill bridge opportunities, so that their place of duty is a skill bridge program. One is the Home Builders Institute, where they can actually go for 6 to 8 weeks to learn how to frame a house. That's their place of duty. And that's I'm actually be talking to them here soon, because those graduates, as they get out of the military, they can apply for that VRE, the Veterans Readiness and Employment. All you have to have is 10% disability. And if you don't want to use your GI Bill, use this VRE. So it's important. Hit that BDD, apply for the VRE before you get out. That way you have eligibility set, because unfortunately across the nation, the voc rehab counselors, they're hardworking folks, but they're so overworked and overwhelmed. So if you can get that VRE, that VRE eligibility knocked out before you get out, it reduces your wait time to be able to apply for any of the courses or anything that's out there. That's one of those challenges we talked about with the VA. But if they're coming in with eligibility, that shortens their wait time, the processing time, and it helps them get a decision much quicker. So 8 weeks remote, and that way they can, but it is not self-paced. I can't hammer that. It's not self-paced, because again, we want you to achieve, we want you to grow, and we want you to accomplish great things. 8 weeks, get week 1 done in week 1, week 2 done in week 2, and continue to grow. And then we'll help with setting up and assisting within the workforce. That's that part we talked about, workforce development. That way we help you get that job so that the VA can continue to pay a stipend while you're in that job as an apprentice. These are paid positions as apprentices so that they can grow. And they just accomplish and grow. Now, if you're already in a job and you're looking for that, I just need the next thing where I can maybe add some skills. You're working in facilities, you're working in real estate development, you want to add some skills to put yourself ahead of the others. Again, this is for you. This is what our goal is to be able to upskill veterans so that they have that opportunity. And it's about opportunity. Veterans, we don't want everything just handed to us. We don't want everything just thrown in our face and say, here's all this free stuff. That's not what we want. We just want that opportunity. And you give us the opportunity and the mission, we're going to accomplish great things for you. But that's what we're doing, and that's what we want to be able to support and grow with. You can hit us up on any social media platform, basically, Insta, X, Twitter, but Insta, X, LinkedIn. Our tag, our line is at Rehab Warriors with an S at the end. So at Rehab Warriors on any of those, or simply rehabwarriors.com. Get on it. If you know a veteran that needs upskilled, they're looking for something different, let us know. We can get them in the platform and talk them through the process and help them through the VA process as well. But that's the biggest thing, Rashawn. We want to help folks get rid of that complacency. Don't let complacency kill your motivation.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's kind of like we talked about last few shows ago. If you go through life being casual, you'll wind up a casualty. So
like that.
Hey, thanks for sharing all the information that you had today and giving us some perspective about Rehab Warriors and what they're doing for the veterans out there. And I'm going to remember, and I hope everybody else out there remember, sometimes people just don't know where they need to go. And we need to be that tool that's able to go out and give those people the things that they need in order to be successful. The tools is what's going to help them get the job done, the mission complete, as you mentioned early. And can you say one more time, Ken, how can we get a hold of you, or how can we get a hold of Rehab Warriors?
Sure. Get a hold of me. I'm on LinkedIn, Ken Cates, that's with the C, and any of the social media at Rehab Warriors, and our website, rehabwarriors.com. Easy. Just go to the website and you can hit any of those social media tags on there as well. We're always here, always open, ready to listen to you and help you achieve great things.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being on the show today. And for all of you all that are out there, I just want to revisit one more time, on 6th of April at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. There's going to be the suicide class. We're going to be offering the program live and free of charge across all NGB and TV platforms, including connected TV platforms and social media outlets. If you don't have the app, go get the app. It's free. Download it for free, and we'll go from there. Any parting shots you got, Ken, and then we'll take it to the house.
Sure. Get rid of the box. Complacency kills. Don't let complacency kill your motivation.
And thank you. And I'm Rashawn Warren. I am the host of CIME TV, and that was Ken Cates. And we'll see you our next episode.
Listen.